Hi everybody, welcome to Art Explorations. So in yoga class today, we did an active reading of Paul Meets Bernadette by Rosy Lamb. Rosy Lamb is an American-born artist living in France currently. So she is a modern contemporary artist, and she's really known as a painter and a sculptor. She, as far as I'm aware, has only written this one children's book. But I chose it for yoga because it had such a beautiful meaning and story to it. But it also has these gorgeous, gorgeous pictures in it. I've taken a canvas already, and since it starts with them in sort of a bubble, which I guess is to indicate their bowl, I went ahead and I used my paper plate and I drew a circle in because I just don't trust myself in making perfectly round shapes. So I went ahead and I traced my circle. And then I took my plate and I put my colors in. Now all of these colors are sort of mid-tones here. So I took the bright tones and I'm going to be mixing them all with white. Pick your tones out of your art sets and then just make sure you have lots of white because we're going to be doing a lot of muting of those colors. And then I'm using large brushes, which is also something I'm not comfortable with. I always like to use really small brushes because I like details. So this is going to be a really good experiment for me too. First, we're going to start with our background. So I'm going to take my white and start mixing it in with my green, just a little bit, because we want it to be sort of this muted celadon tone. Starting from the edge of my circle, I'm going to put the edge of my brush on and just paint outward. And I'm not going all the way to the end for this, just because I have such an enormous canvas. I'm going to make this kind of rough looking. So I'm just going around my circle, following the line and painting out. So the paint on the tip of my brush is starting to get a little empty, so I'm going to re-dip, making sure that I have paint concentrated towards the tip of my brush, and then I apply it right next to the line where my pencil mark is and press out. And I smear the paint and press out. Here we have our background for our fish bubble. All right, next, we're gonna start on the inside. Now, the inside, you notice everything has these sort of circular brush strokes inside. And if we look for the furthest away color, the furthest away color looks like this blue color here. And my blue, and put a little bit of white in it, because we don't want it to be too dark yet. So we have a little curve of the blue up here. And then some going down here. And then the blue gets a little lighter, so I'm going to just add some more white. I'm going to take the same brush, add some more white, and spread it out a little bit more right towards the edge of my circle. And remember, we want our brush strokes to show, we want our paint to look almost lumpy with this. Now over in here, the water looks a little more green, so I'm going to dip in my green paint. And I still have the white and I still have the blue. We're making all the colors work together. So I'm taking some of my green and I'm starting up here with our blue and following the edge of my circle. And then maybe we'll put one right in here. There, see there's a little mark, oh, I don't know if you can see that. There's a little mark of green right up in here. And then we have some yellow, a splotch of yellow. So I'm gonna, since I already have all these other colors on my brush, I'm gonna just put it straight in the yellow. Because I think that might just give me the color I need. So I'm gonna put it straight in the yellow and make a line right here in the middle of my circle and paint down, because it just looks like a streak of paint. There, and then there's a little streak of yellow on the side of my bubble. And then there's a little bit of yellow right up here on the other end of my bubble. I think I need to put a little more green up here, so I'm going to try to get some of my yellow off. And if it doesn't all come off, that's okay, because we're making it our own. And then we need to add some more white and lighter blue. So I'm going to go back to my blue section, and starting with the white mainly, I'm going to take the white and wipe down. And first I'm going to start right here in the center and just make a dab of the white and blue going across. Down here. Then we'll make the circle around the outside, and we're going to give this a few minutes just to sort of get a little bit drier. So we're going to take a little bit of our white and dip it in the black, so it's not a really solid dark black, but more of a lighter grayish black. And we're using a thinner brush for this. And if you can see, the bubble is sort of outlined with this gray color. So while we're letting the inside paint dry a little bit, we're going to go around the outside with our thinner brush and just follow the edge of our circle. There we go. Now we're going to take a little bit of that black again, or that gray, I'm sorry, and make a very fine line. And I'm going to turn my canvas this way so you can see where I'm going, indicating where the top of the line is that Bernadette's going to be dropping into. So there's a little line here indicating where she splashes into the water. So I'm going to take my line and go across here very faintly. And we'll even that up once we get her painted, just so we know where that goes. Okay, next we need to put our fish in. So we're gonna go to our orange. Let's take the orange, the straight color orange first, just to do the outline. And I honestly don't know why, but in every single art set I have encountered in this quarantine, every orange that comes out of the tube is lumpy. And I'm not sure, there must be something about pigments, but I've never had oranges that last very well. I don't know what that is. Something to research. But so I'm going to try to make this orange workable. Okay. Bernadette. So Bernadette, her tail ends right up here at the top of the bubble. Her body starts above, and about halfway through is the widest part of her body, and her little head's right here. She's right in the middle. So we're going to give first a light shape. Oh my goodness, that's not good. We may have to make our own orange. Okay. Redo, we're making our own orange. Does anybody remember how you make orange? If we mix two colors together, remember what they are? That's right, red and yellow. Red and yellow make orange. Pardon me while I go get some red. Well, it's a little bit of a pinky orange, but it will do in a pinch. All right, so we're going to make the bottom part of her body and bring it down so that it goes towards the tail. And then we'll make her tail. And then she has a little stripe on her that looks a little bit black. You can add a darker color. You can make your fish however you want. It doesn't have to look just like Bernadette. I'm gonna put a little yellow. There she is. I'm gonna put a little bit of yellow right in the center of her body. The lighter color in the center makes her look a little bit more rounded. You see how that happens? And then we're gonna make her eyes. So for the eye, we first dip in white, and we're gonna make the eye, the back of the eye, and then we're gonna dip in the black and put a dot on top of the white. For her eye. And now for Paul. Paul is a bit lighter, so I'm gonna add a little more yellow to my orange mixture, but we'll do his tail first. His tail is in two pieces. Did you see that? Two pieces just like that. And then his body comes around. We have Paul's general shape. And again, we can put the streak of yellow to give him some roundness. Maybe some yellow in his tail. And then he needs some fins as well. So he needs his little dorsal fin and his fins down here. I don't know what those are called. Right along here. To maybe show a shine on the glass. And maybe a little bit here. And then here. And here we have. Inspired by Rosy Lamb. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I can't wait to see your fishy pictures.